I pay $3,500 every single month toward my mortgage, and I look forward to it. Not because I have to, but because I know exactly what it's doing. It's counting something down, something most people carry for 30 years. And now I am only 3 years away, 3 years from removing one of the biggest financial obligations in my life. And the closer I get, the more I want to make the next payment. That might sound strange, but by the end of this video, it won't. Back in 2010, I bought my house at 30 years old. I wasn't thinking about financial optimization or early payoff strategies. I was thinking about stability, having a place that was mine, something predictable, something that wouldn't disappear next month. So I did what most people do. I took out a 30-year mortgage, about $2,500 a month. It felt reasonable. It felt manageable. It felt like something I could live with for a very long time. And mentally, I accepted that timeline. 30 years, that was just the deal. That was just life. Then, in 2016, something changed. Interest rates dropped, and suddenly, I had an opportunity. But it didn't feel like a simple decision, because I had two very different paths in front of me. Path 1, refinance into another 30-year, lower payment, more breathing room, easy. Or path 2, go the opposite direction. Increase my payment, take on more pressure, but finish much sooner. I remember thinking about this longer than I expected, because one option felt comfortable, and the other felt aggressive. And there's a big difference between reading about financial decisions and actually making them with your own money. In the end, I chose the aggressive path. I refinanced into a 15-year mortgage at 2.75%. And just like that, my payment jumped from $2,500 to $3,500 a month. An extra $1,000 every single month. That decision didn't feel exciting. It felt serious. And honestly, the first few years were uncomfortable because it's easy to commit to a higher payment on paper, but it feels very different when it becomes real. Every month, $3,500, no skipping, no delay, just a fixed obligation that shows up again and again. And there were nights where I'd think about it more than I wanted to, not dramatically, just quietly, lying there, thinking about the future. One question kept coming back. What if something goes wrong? What if I lose my job? What if my income drops? What if I made the wrong call? Because increasing your mortgage payment doesn't just change your finances. It changes your risk profile. It increases your commitment to your current income. It reduces your margin for error. And that's something people don't talk about enough. Most YouTube videos will show you the math. They'll show you the interest saved, the payoff date, the spreadsheet. What they don't show you is this feeling. The emotional weight of locking in a higher payment for 15 years is real. And if you're thinking about doing this, you need to know that going in. To make it work, I had to adjust. Not in a dramatic I sold my car way, in smaller ways that added up. Eating out less often. Being more deliberate about travel. Thinking twice before spending on things that didn't really matter. There were even months where I put less into investments just to stay consistent with the mortgage. And if you run the pure numbers, that might not look optimal. But here's the thing, life doesn't always feel like a spreadsheet. And at the time, I wasn't chasing the perfect return. I was building something specific, something more personal than that. Here's what most financial calculators won't factor in. The cost of feeling stuck, the cost of knowing that no matter what else changes, that payment is there every single month for another 20-some years. That has a price too. It just doesn't show up in a formula. Then one day something shifted. I logged into my mortgage account like I'd done dozens of times before, expecting to glance at it and move on. And I saw the number. The remaining balance had dropped below $100,000, and I didn't immediately click away. I paused. 5 digits. For the first time in years, didn't feel like a long-term obligation anymore. It felt close. I actually refreshed the page just to make sure I was reading it right. And in that moment, something changed in my head. I wasn't looking at decades anymore. I was looking at 4 or 5 years, which is completely different. Because when something moves from far away to within reach, your behavior changes, your mindset changes, your energy changes. The payment stopped feeling like something I had to do. It started feeling like something I wanted to finish. That's not the same thing, and it's a shift that changes everything. Today, the experience is completely different. When I make that $3,500 payment, it doesn't feel like money leaving my account. It feels like progress, real, visible, measurable progress. I'll make the payment, and then I'll check the balance. Not out of anxiety, out of curiosity, because I want to see the number move. And every time it does, even if it's not a huge drop, it feels meaningful. There's something powerful about watching a number move in one direction, predictably, consistently, without volatility. In a world where so many financial outcomes feel unpredictable, this feels solid. It feels controlled. It feels earned. It's not exciting in the way the stock market is. It's quieter than that, but it's also more certain. And over time, I started valuing that feeling more than I expected to. I've thought about this many times. What if I had taken that extra $1,000 every month and invested it instead of applying it to the mortgage? Maybe the numbers would be higher today. Maybe my net worth would look bigger on paper. It's a fair question, and the honest answer is maybe. The S&P 500 has historically returned around 10% per year on average. So yes, in a pure numbers game, the invested route might have come out ahead, but there's something those calculations don't factor in. The feeling of still having a mortgage, still knowing that payment is there in the background, every month, no matter what happens to your income. Over time, I realized something important about myself. I wasn't trying to maximize every dollar, I was trying to reduce dependency. On my job, on a specific income level, on things outside my control. And this decision helped me do exactly that. Right now, I have about $80,000 left. About 3 years, and that number keeps going down every single month. And when I think about that, it doesn't feel distant anymore. It feels real. Close enough to see, close enough to plan around. 14 years ago, I took out a 30-year mortgage. In 2028, I'll own my home outright. That's an 18-year mortgage. Not by accident, by decision. And when the mortgage is finally gone, something interesting happens. That $3,500 payment doesn't disappear, it changes direction. I can choose to invest it, I can use it to travel more, I can spend it on things I genuinely enjoy without thinking twice about it. That's the difference. The money stops belonging to the mortgage and starts belonging to me. And for me, that was always the real goal, not just owning the house, owning the choice. Before I wrap up, 3 things. Number 1, the math isn't the whole story. Anyone can build a spreadsheet that says, invest instead. But spreadsheets don't feel the anxiety of having a 30-year obligation at age 45. Number 2, a higher payment means higher commitment. That's not a warning to stop you. It's something to go in with eyes open. Make sure your income is stable enough. Make sure you have an emergency fund, and make sure you're not stretching dangerously thin. Number 3, the goal isn't optimization, it's control. Because once you frame it that way, the decision gets a lot clearer. Paying off a house early isn't just about interest savings. It's about changing how you think about money. Because once you experience what it feels like to remove one of the biggest obligations in your life, your priorities shift. You stop asking, what gives me the highest return? And start asking, what gives me the most control? What gives me stability? What gives me flexibility? What lets me sleep at night? And for me, that answer became very clear. 3 years from now, it'll be even clearer. If this video helped you think about your own situation differently, that's what it was for. Drop a comment. Tell me where you are in your mortgage journey, and I'll see you in the next one.